Hey, ML Nation, the Simon Chan. We have an awesome show today with Emma Sneddon from the UK, from a corporate slave to a multiple six-figure earner. And we'll talk about how she had no life, and now she's actually very inspiring, the stuff that she does for her kids. So Emma, how's it going? Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Hi, how are you?
Good. So I just started the Facebook Live. You should be able to share it now, Emma. And for those who are hopping on, let us know where you're from. This is Simon Chan from Los Angeles, and we have Emma Sneddon from the UK.
Hi there. Hey, guys.
So let me see what we got. And Emma's going to share her story, how she was able to go full-time in about a year and a half when she got started in the business, and how her trainer got her onto the business as well. So, hey, Kelly, how's it going? Hey, Joanne. And I'm going to share one more time to my other page, and then we will get started. And here we go.
I'm just sharing it to mine. I've got so many notifications, I can't see it.
So I'm ready to go whenever you are, Emma. So take your time, and
I will be with you.
Take your time here. And so who we got here? We got Dawn Robertson from St. Louis, Missouri. What's up? Margaret Winters, good to see you here. Janika from the UK. Thank you for dialing in here. And show us some love. All right, Emma, let me know whenever you're ready.
I'm ready when you are, Simon.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. ML Nation, this is Simon Chan. I'm fired up to bring our special guest from the UK today, Emma Sneddon. Hey, Emma, are you ready to make it happen?
Oh, yes, I'm always ready. Definitely ready tonight.
Emma Sneddon was working 100 hours a week at a corporate job when she discovered MLM. At the time, she rarely saw her 3 kids and barely had any time to talk to her husband. In Emma's own words, my husband and I were like ships that passed in the night, and we were stuck on the treadmill of work life. And then one day, about 4 years ago, her personal trainer introduced Emma to her company's product, and she loved it immediately. She also trusted what the trainer said about the business opportunity, so she figured out Emma was going to give it a try because she could earn some extra money for Christmas. Emma initially had a really small goal of earning just 200 pounds a month, which is about like 250, 300 US a month. But once she got started, she realized she could do really amazing things and go big if she committed herself. And once Emma made that commitment, Emma was able to retire, both she and her husband, in a very short time, and most importantly, spend time with her kids. And because of network marketing, Emma claims, and she actually calculated this out, she gets to spend an additional 2,660 awake hours with her kids. She takes her kids to and from school, does all that mommy stuff, and she's also one of the top leaders in the company and a multiple six-figure earner. She also made $1 million in commissions in a very, very short amount of time. Today, Emma's mission is to help women to be financially independent, to stand on their own 2 feet, to have huge confidence, and really to live the life they truly deserve. So, Emma, I shared a little brief background, but take us back to before you got started in network marketing, when you were that corporate slave working those 100-hour weeks.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Thanks for the introduction. I'm really, really honoured and excited to be with you tonight. I've listened to the show for a very long time and obviously watched you in the more recent months on Facebook as well. So it's really exciting for me to be part of the show. So thank you for the opportunity to just share my story with everybody. So yeah, like 4.5 years ago was when I first came across network marketing at all as an industry. Even that wasn't something I was even really aware existed at all. I was a corporate slave, to be honest. I didn't really realize it at the time. I don't think when you're in that environment that you're just going through the motions of life, paying the bills and going to work and being a mother and a wife and all of those things. And I wasn't unhappy, but I was very dissatisfied. I worked extremely long hours, as you said, about 100 hours a week, and had a very, although I wasn't unhappy and money wasn't a massive issue, we never had the time freedom to do the things that we truly wanted to do. But everybody else that I knew was the same, so I didn't feel like I was different to anybody else. I just always had this kind of inner feeling that there had to be more to life than just being on that treadmill of just kind of what I always say now when I look back on it, that I was more of a provider than the parent that I really wanted to be. I wanted to be a mum. I wanted to be, much more than just the person who put food on the table and a roof over our heads. I wanted to know who my children were growing into, and I was actually starting to realise I was missing out on so much. I missed out on parents' evenings and sports days and all of those, what we call the magic moments in a child's life, the things that they really remember whether you're there or not. And I felt like I couldn't do that, but I didn't know how to get out of it. I have worked hard all my life. I've had a job of one description or another since I was 15 years old. And so I continued up to that point. I was 36. Always have been employed, always wanted to be the very best at anything that I could do, but often felt kind of undervalued and replaceable, I suppose. I always felt like, yes, I might be important in a particular role, but pretty replaceable. And I think as we're going through the generations, that's getting more and more common, that people can be feel like they can be pretty easily replaced. So it was one moment actually when I, as you said in the introduction there, I had fallen in love with the product. I absolutely loved it. It gave me, I felt great on it. So I was naturally actually doing the business anyway. I just wasn't getting paid for it, and I didn't realise. And my personal trainer is a very good friend of mine, and he said to me, he offered me the opportunity to own my own business, own my own franchise. And, frankly, I totally said no. Definitely, I didn't have the time to do that because I was working so much. I barely slept and I didn't see how like a lot of people, I guess, I didn't see how on earth I could possibly fit something else into that environment. So at that point, I was really, really dissatisfied, really fed up, exhausted, and very much on that treadmill that I think a lot of busy working mums and dads, to be fair, are on. So that's where I was at the time.
So getting back to your corporate, you was working those long hours. What were you specifically doing? What department?
So I was on the road a lot. I had a senior sales role in the company that I was with. I looked after a number of different customers all over the country, but I actually did a lot of travelling. So that's why it was such long hours. I would travel a lot in the car. I'd be gone from 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes not home till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So really long out. It was a sales job, but it was more of a management role at that point.
So how did it go once you decided to do it? How did it go in your first couple of weeks?
Well, I'll tell you why I got involved in the first place, because as you said, I wanted to earn, I thought, if I could earn £200 a month part-time, it would pay for Christmas, which for a lot of people, every year we would say we would save for Christmas. Every year we would say, we'll put some money aside, and we never did. My husband, Mike, and I, we'd just get to December, and then it would always be like, we have to find the money for Christmas out of December. So that was my reason for joining the business. I loved the product anyway, shared it anyway, so it just kind of made sense to me. So for the first couple of months, I just kind of was putting the feelers out. I was carried on doing what I was already doing, which was sharing a product that I loved with people. I've chatted a little bit about the business to people, but I didn't really know anything much about it other than my friend was doing the business, but he's very humble, John, for those of you who know him. He's very humble, and I didn't really think it was going to be that he was doing it in a big way, or that it was something that would change my life in the way that it has. But something significant happened around about that time in terms of my corporate job and this job. And I always think that the right things come into your life at the right time, and it really kind of the two collided in a good way. And I was sitting in my car, so I used to drive a lot, as I said, and I had been promised a position in the company I was with at the time in my corporate life that I ticked all those boxes, and I got a phone call saying, could you come down to where the head office was, which is 4 hours away in the car, for an 8 o'clock in the morning meeting. So I put my children to bed, and I left the house at 10 o'clock at night, drove through the night, got to the 8 o'clock in the morning meeting to be told that this job that I thought was mine was basically being given to somebody else. So it was thanks for all your hard work, but actually, we've given it to somebody external. And it really was a wake-up call for me that I was going to have to do something. So I got back in the car, and I was stuck in traffic, and I had a moment. And when you have those moments where it's like enough's enough, there's like, what am I doing here, and how is this going to be any different? And I fast forwarded 10 years, and I was 36 years old, and I fast forwarded 10 years, and I thought, what does my life look like in 10 years time if I don't do something different, if I don't make a change to do something different? And I was really scared by what I saw, because it was exactly the same. I was just older, the kids were older, but nothing was different. And I did the same again. Another 10 years, 20 years from that moment in that car. Fast forward 20 years, what does your life look like? And it was the same. And that really was a wake-up call for me in my own life. And this opportunity came along around about the same time, because I think a lot of people are stuck and don't know how to get out of the situation that they're in. So for me, the first couple of months, I didn't realise what it was going to be. But I started to go to a few events. I started to do some personal development. I started to meet a few people. And then my eyes started to open to what it could really be for us.
So what would you consider a turning point? Was there a specific event that you went to that things started really happening?
Yeah, definitely. So for me, there was two actually. There was one really early on, about a month into it, where I went to a little training event. There was maybe 30 or 40 of us in a hotel locally. And I sat at the back on my own with my little notepad, still in my head thinking if I could earn a couple of £100, this would be, great and a big stress relief for us. And they did this kind of round the room thing where they said, everybody, if you're in the room and you earned £100 last month, stand up. So I had earned £84, so about $100 that month. So I was like, I'm standing up. I'm not going to be the only one sitting down. So I stood up. It's nearly £100. And then it just kept going and going. And the last girl standing was 23 years old, and I was 36 at the time. And she was still standing at £2,500, which for me, by the time I paid for childcare and all the other stuff, and the 100 hours a week, she was earning more money a few hours a day at 23 than I was at 36, 15 years into a corporate career that took me out of the home. And that was like a moment where I thought, hold on. Maybe, just maybe, this could be something different than just a few £100. And then that was March 2013. And then in June, I'd started to build a little bit of a team. I'd earned a few £100 myself, started to see what was possible. And we went to a conference over in Dublin that changed my life, like completely. And I'm really, really, for those of you who are watching and ever thinking about going to convention for your company, just do it. Like, get yourself along to a big event and you really do start to see the bigger picture. So I took my, at the time, very sceptical husband with me. He's incredibly supportive, but didn't really understand it at the time. He came with me just to keep me company because I didn't know very many people. And there was one guy. I mean, the conference itself was great, but there's always one or two speakers, isn't there, that really something hits home for you. And it was Gordon Hester. He's like a financial advisor, amazing guy. I'm sure you know him. And he stood on the stage, and I was at the back with my little notepad again by myself. And he said, and I've still got the bit of paper where I wrote it down, and he said, I've lost track of the number of mums who've become millionaires through this business. I've lost track of the number of full-time mums who've become millionaires through this industry, through this business. And that was like a boom moment for me. Not like I know one mum, but I've lost track. So I ran down the stairs, my husband was in the bar, and I was like, oh my God, Mike, you'll not believe what this guy's just said. This is going to change our lives. It's amazing. I could be a millionaire if I work really hard. And he looked up from what he was doing. He was like, that's brilliant. Could you just go back upstairs now and find out how? So I did.
Amazing story. That's the key lesson. You got to go to events. Big decisions are made at big events. And one of them, the first one, you saw a girl, 23-year-old girl, making that, 2,300 pounds. And the second was going to a company's conference, right, in Dublin. So I know the journey is not always smooth and easy, though you rose to the top pretty quickly. But what were some of the challenges you faced when you first started?
When I very first started, I guess, like most people, was surrounded by people who thought I was crazy. I didn't know what I was doing. And I honestly believe more often than not, that can often come from a place of care by the people that you love, because they don't understand what it is. I didn't understand what it was. I just had a really good feeling, and I completely trusted my sponsor. I think when you know, like, and trust someone, you follow them. And I had that total belief in what he was sharing, that he wouldn't take me on a bad path. And for whatever reason, I totally believed in the product and the company and the people around me. But so when I got that bit of negativity, the little bit of like skepticism, I didn't listen at all. And one thing I've had from the very beginning in this business is absolute, total certainty that I know what I'm doing. Even if I'm learning along the way, that total certainty, total self-belief, like I was literally nobody could knock me off my path for any more than a few minutes, or every now and again somebody would say something maybe that hurt or that I took seriously, but I was like, no, do you know what? No, I am going to do this. And I think if you put your heart and soul into something, and I started to get, earn a little bit of money, that helps, not a lot at the beginning, but enough to show people that it was real, that I was actually being paid a little bit of money. And I realised I could fit it around, people were worried that I was going to drop the ball in my proper job. I had a good job, I was well paid, and it was a risk from the outside. I was like, it isn't a risk. I know what I'm doing. I'm a 36-year-old mum of 3. Like, I'm not daft, and I had that real belief that it was going to be life-changing for us. And once you've made that decision, you do everything you need to do to make that come true. So I was lucky. My husband, like I said, was sceptical but very supportive. He babysat the kids when I went to events. He was there 100% to support me. And very quickly, we all realised it was going to be something really big.
Awesome. That's super inspiring. For those who are watching Facebook Live, definitely connect with Emma. I've tagged her on the post. And also, if you like this, please let us know by sharing it. Share this good stuff out there. And we're going to go dive a little deeper here. So share this. Yeah. Talk about beliefs. Now, you said you have always had total certainty, total beliefs. And some distributors struggle with that. How did you... What would you recommend to people who don't have that belief? And I think a lot of times it's not about the belief in the company or products, but belief in themselves. What advice can you give in terms of building self-esteem and confidence and belief in yourself?
Oh, it's so incredibly important that people do that. And I think that it's as I've gone through the business, you grow as a person so much in this industry, don't you? You start when you're beginning to earn a little bit of money with no idea really where this industry is going to take you if you just allow it to help you to develop as a person. So people think that what we do is selling products or building teams. It's not just that. It's so much more than that if you just do a little bit of digging deeper into yourself. And actually, if you don't have self-belief, if you don't have that belief in yourself that you can do this, you're going to struggle, honestly, to convince somebody else that they can do it, because you need to be able to look yourself in the mirror. And you know what's brilliant about this industry? Anybody can do it, right? You don't have to have any special qualifications, any special background, anything at all. You can start today and you can earn while you learn. You can go on a journey with people that you actually want to spend time with, people that you love, people that you trust, people that you want to take on that journey with you, and you will grow so much. But to do that, you have to invest in yourself. Confidence is like a muscle, right? You have to, exercise it and put some effort into growing it. And what I always say to people, because a lot of people, most of my team is women, not exclusively. I've got a lot of amazing guys in the business with us, but the women particularly, for whatever reason, we tend to have some of the confidence bashed out of us over the years, for whatever, loads of different reasons. And I found a real passion for helping women to just get that confidence back. And honestly, Simon, there's nothing like it when you can look somebody who was like this before, and even one call can do it. When you ask somebody about themselves, what do you want to do? What would your ideal day look like? If money was no object, what would you do with your time? That's what we do for people. That's what we're offering people. It's not just an additional income. It's actually giving you dreams back, have your life back. So if you're currently one of those people who feels like you don't have self-belief, surround yourself with people who believe in you. That's the number one thing I think you need to do, is find people. They will be in your company. Hopefully they'll be in your family. If they're not, that's fine. You love them anyway, but you go and spend more time with people who've got your back, who are in your corner, who will coach you out of a sad or a bad day. And actually, when you surround yourself with people like that, you grow and you start to stand tall and just put your shoulders back and have that massive, honestly, the massive self-belief is so much more important than it's 80% of what we do. I honestly believe that is what's going on up here. The story that you're telling yourself all the time. And you get up every day. I still do it. I get up every day. I can do this. I'm amazing. The company's amazing. The product's amazing. The business is amazing. But I am good enough and I deserve to be successful. And if you say that enough times, you start to believe it. But it's absolutely about committing to that process, Simon. You can't just, start that on a Monday and just don't let the outside world get in. You're an adult. You've got your own franchise business. You've got your own opportunities to leave a legacy. And the one thing I always say to people, and I say it from stage and I say it in one-to-ones, if you talk down to yourself I always imagine that you're talking to one of your children or to a 5-year-old, and you should never say to yourself what you wouldn't say to a 5-year-old. So if you're saying to yourself, you're not good enough, you're not confident enough, you haven't got the ability, you'll never make it, you're too fat, you're too thin, no one's going to believe you, whatever. If that's the language that you use to yourself, then you have to force yourself to stop and actually imagine that you're talking to a child. And we wouldn't do that, would we? None of us would talk to a child like that. And that really, I think, helps people to go, oh, okay, I need to talk positively about myself and to myself. So I think that's incredibly important.
Hey, ML Nation, all those on Facebook Live, amazing training here from Emma Sneddon. If you like this, please share this and type it in the comments. I am good enough. Type that in right now. I am good enough. I'm telling you, just by saying, you made me, I feel good just by saying that. So type it in, I am good enough, and share this. Okay, really good stuff here. Now, you had mentioned about commitment. A lot of people, they think they're committed, but they're not really not. In your words, what is definition of commitment to you? What actions did you do that's commitment for Emma Sneddon?
So I'm still very committed every single day, totally in the trenches, totally building customers, building team members every single day. And I think that's incredibly important. So for me, commitment is about making everything actually is about decisions. The decision that you make every single day about how that day is going to, you either lead the day, right, or the day leads you. So you have to make a decision at the beginning to commit to your own day, to not allow someone else, things happen, right? I get that. Stuff will come along, but I'm a massive believer in life happens, for us, not to us. And all we can control is how we react to a situation. All we can control is what we do every day, not what everybody else is doing every day. So when you commit to your business, we always talk about, are you committed or are you just interested? If you're just interested, that's going to go up and down. When you're truly, truly committed to something, actually, over time, that becomes greater than yourself. So my commitment now is different to what it was 4 years ago, but my work ethic is exactly the same. So my work ethic and your work ethic needs to be really high if you want to be a 6-figure earner or more in this company, in this business. You have to have a massive committed work ethic to be able to export. Do you know what? I don't know about most of you guys, but I was working really hard anyway, right? Really hard. I could make a commitment to myself, to my family, to the team, to the people that join the business with you, to the industry. Like, we're all part of the same industry. We all have that same responsibility to treat it with the respect that it deserves. And I am so proud. I'm so proud to be a network marketing professional. I'm so proud to be in this industry and to be able to share that with other busy working mums and dads like me, that I commit to that every day. Every single day I'll say I'm going to be the best distributor in my organisation. I'm going to be the best person that I can be. I'm going to be a great upline, a great friend, a great mentor, a great mum, a great wife. That's commitment. Wishy-washy, faff around in the middle, I'm not sure. That's how you come across to people. So people follow certainty, and I'm certain.
Very, very inspiring. Hey, so let's talk about kind of related to commitment, time management. So when you started, you were working long hours. You got 3 kids. But you're committed. How did you make the time to do the business?
I'm not going to say it was easy. I don't think anything worth having is easy. And I'm always really honest with people that join the business with us that, if you really want it to be life-changing, it's going to take some changes in your own life. Some priority shifts a little while. And was it worth it? Absolutely. So for me, I kind of switched the telly off and turned my laptop on in the evening. I realised that if I could work a few hours a night on my franchise business, on my future, so I never dropped the ball in my corporate life. That was paying the mortgage, paying the bills and all of that. That's really important that you do that you look after your commitments first, and that you build this part-time alongside whatever else it is that you're already doing, because otherwise it's not fun, it's stressful. It's meant to be fun. So for me, the time management part, I got the buy-in from my family, so my kids and my husband, and we sat down. When we realised it was, potentially going to be something life-changing, I sat down we all sat down as a family and said, and my kids were only 3 and 6, the little ones then. My eldest is 16, she's 19 now and at university, but the little ones and my husband, we sat down and talked about it as a family and said, sometimes mummy's going to have to be at an event. Sometimes mummy's going to be on a call at night or not here at night. But this is why. So we've got a long-term vision as a family to go on a travel around the world in 10 years. All of us, like luxury travel around the world. So sometimes when I'm not around, that's what we remind the kids that's why. But the time management part, I've got actually an amazing YouTube video that I did just as a little thing for my team that's gone all around the world, and anybody can access that. And it's just time management tips. And I worked out in 24 hours a day, because I heard people saying everyone's got 24 hours, it's how you use them. And I was like, I don't feel like I have, because I couldn't even find time to sleep. And then I worked out it was the nooks and crannies of the day. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And if I turned off the telly, I could do a couple of solid hours in the evening. And I swear I built my business from zero to life-changing in 12 months by the small little bits of a day that you can find it. It all adds up.
And that YouTube video, send me the link and we'll post it on the show notes page. So for those who go on there on mlmnation.net, you actually get to watch that YouTube video that Emma did about time management tips. Now, let's talk about, before I ask you my favorite question, you talk about John Halawadi, right? Who he recruited you. You talked about you trusted him. So that's why you did the business. What are some things that we hear the word trust a lot? What are some things about John? And we're going to have him on the show. By the way, John, big shout out to you. You connected me with Emma. Awesome shout out. John and I were hanging out at the John Maxwell event last year. So, but what are some qualities of John that make him trustworthy? I think this is a lot of, because someone just emailed me yesterday saying, "Oh, you know what? I know a lot of people, but no one seems to believe what I have to say." Well, I think I didn't want to tell her that. It's a trust issue, right? So what did John do that made him a trustworthy person? What do all distributors need to do for character traits to make us more trustworthy in our community so people believe in us and people can, take action in this awesome profession?
There's a number of different kind of questions in that, but particularly I'll cover briefly what I think and then why John was so good at that. Because we were already friends, and that isn't always the situation. Quite often we bring people into our business or into our organisation, and they're not necessarily that familiar with who we are. And then you have to build the trust after that. But 100% the most important thing is to have massive integrity, to be incredibly honest, totally trustworthy. I'm not a fan of fake it till you make it. I'm not a fan of blagging it or pretending to be something that you're not. I can look anybody straight in the eyes and tell them everything about the company, everything about me, who I am, and people will either get on board with you or they won't. But if you're being honest with somebody and just really, really telling it how it is, and for me, the minute that you can do this business and not for yourself, but you care more about other people, and that's what John is incredibly good at, right? He's a great conversationalist. You don't even realise that he's like, he doesn't ask you anything. He doesn't tell you anything about himself. Everything is about you. Great questions about you. We always say, don't we, like the answers are in the questions that you ask. And I really believe I'm going to get this quote wrong now. There's a quote by Dale Carnegie, which is that you bring more people into your life in 2 months if you find out more about them rather than telling them about you. And what we often as distributors in this industry tend to sometimes do is we're very here's my product, here's my opportunity, come and join my team, blah, blah, blah. That's not really about them. I wouldn't have joined that. I was offered an opportunity for me. I was offered an opportunity for something that I could potentially benefit from. It wasn't about John or his product or his thing. It was actually, I've got something I think you'd be really good at. I've got something that I'd love to share with you. Can we go for a coffee sometime? Really relaxed. Really, do you know the biggest thing? Genuine. And I honestly think that the more genuine you are in this business, in this industry, when you can sit down with somebody and say, do you know what? It might not be for you, but here's what it is. It might not be for you right now. And actually, that's really key. I said no for 6 months, which to some people, that's not very long. But, I wasn't ready when I first was offered the opportunity. And he was not pushy in any way, shape or form. He was just like, okay, well, I think you'd be great at it. And the exact line he used, which I loved and was really good for me, was I said I didn't have time. And he said, this is a business designed for busy people, and you're the busiest person that I know. And I was running out of the gym at the time, and I was like, okay, bye. I'm running down the stairs, and it just kind of went round and round in my head. This is a business designed for busy people, and you're the busiest person that I know. And it was really respectful. He wasn't diminishing what I was doing. He wasn't trying to change my life. He was just saying, I think you'd be really good at this. So that, for me, when you're offering somebody an opportunity, like I said before, I am so proud to be part of this industry. I'm so proud of what we offer people, of the little bits of changes we can make along the way, that when you add them all up together, someone looks back in 12 months and they're a different, do you know what, they're the person they were meant to be. I really think that this industry gives you so much hope, so much. You're surrounded by positive people, uplifting people, people in your corner, people who will support you, tell you you can do anything, you can be anyone, you can suddenly start to dream again, you can suddenly build something that's for you. And at 36 years old, I was like, I thought my life was kind of not done, but I was starting to live my life through my children, and suddenly I thought I can do this for me again. I can build something that's for them, that they're benefiting from. But I literally grew like that within a few months, because he believed in me, and Alex, who's his upline, he believed in me, and they just said, Emma, you can be anything. You can. I remember when John sat me down and said, and we were in a little cafe in a supermarket, and he said, what do you really want to do with your life? And honestly, Simon, no one had asked me that for probably 20 years. So I was 36, and I was like, what do you mean? And he said, what do you want to do with your life? And I thought, well, I am doing my life. What do you mean? And he said, well, if you weren't doing this, what would you want to do? And it was the first time, like I said, it's probably since I left university, that I've really looked at, gosh, actually, I could do anything still. And that's what we offer people, and that's what I try and show people every single day, that your life is never over till you say it's over. It's never done until you decide that it's done. And we, as an industry, are offering people something potentially better than where they are right now. And I'll never stop doing that. I never want to be able to. Two things. One is to look at my children and say, you could have had everything. You could have lived your dream life, but I just couldn't be bothered. I didn't have enough self-belief. I didn't turn up to the event. That's never going to happen, Simon. I'm never going to look at my kids and say you could have had an amazing life. But I also don't ever want anyone to come to me and say, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me that this is possible? You've got this. We live in a beautiful house. We've got lovely cars, but it's not about that for me. It's lovely, and I'm not giving them back, but it's so much more than that. I'm every single time. I think one of the questions you were going to ask me, I think, was about like my proudest moment. And honestly, I couldn't think of one, because I realised that every single time someone says to me, because of you, my life's different or better, like, thank you for sharing it with me, thank you for persisting with me, thank you for giving me this opportunity, giving me my confidence back. Every single time I get to say yes to my kids, yes, you can have a sleepover, yes, you can go to that party, yes, we can go on that holiday, instead of no, we can't afford it, or I haven't got time. Every time either of those two things happen, I feel proud, really proud of what we are as an industry, proud of who I am as a mum, proud of the team that we've created, all of it. And I honestly think when we go out into the world with that intention, we as a group of people can honestly change the face of the world. I truly, truly, honestly believe that.
I love that. It's so inspiring, especially about the kids. Right? When did you start thinking about that? You mentioned kids a few times. The first time was like, you never, I'm not good enough. You never say that to a kid, right? Really good aha moment. And just thinking about, you never want your kids to know we couldn't live that life because your lack of work ethic, lack of commitment, or the lack of self-esteem. So very, very inspiring. Emma, I want to ask you my favorite question. So we all heard the good stuff. What was your worst moment in network marketing? Your worst moment to the point that most people will quit, but you did it, and because of that, you are where you are today.
I'll tell you honestly, I've never ever once thought about quitting. I know sometimes people say like, I never have, and that's because of the certainty and because of the belief system and everything. But I've had some really, really tough times. So I've had some really tough days. I've had some really tough months. Like in the first 2 years in my network marketing business, everything I touched turned to gold. It was just like, I loved it so much. I was so passionate. My life changed. I left my job. I retired my husband. We went on amazing holidays. All of this stuff. We had 50,000 customers like within the team in the first 12 months. It was just amazing. And I've just loved it from that, like all of that. And obviously that's that's not going to be like that always and forever, because it's still real life. And what really happened was, I guess the biggest challenge, I suppose, that I had was about 2.5 years into, was it 2.5 years roughly, I think, into my career, my network marketing career. A group of people decided that it wasn't for them anymore, which I hadn't really experienced up to that point at all. And I'd obviously listened to your podcast, and I knew that sort of thing happened. But these were people that were my friends, people that we obviously spent a lot of time together. We knew, my kids knew a lot of people, and it was quite a really difficult time in terms of the way that it was handled in some respects. I wasn't expecting it. It was kind of out of the blue. It was all over social media, which I wasn't used to either. And it was quite a difficult time in terms of managing the whole process through. And I went really into mother mode, where I was like, I need to make sure that everybody knows that this is okay. This is totally normal, and it's not it's business as usual. And I fundamentally believe that it still is, right? Even outside of the business, when terrible things happen, you have to still get on with the fundamentals of your life, right? You still have to go to sleep, you still have to go to the bathroom, you still have to do all of those things, no matter what is going on. And the same in this business, when something happens that maybe rocks the boat a little bit, the most important part is how you respond to it. And the response that I chose to make, and I'm very fortunate, I was incredibly supported by the company. There were, there's people in the business who've been around for years and years and years and years. They just put their arms around me, went, it's going to be cool, don't worry about it, and they were right. And I just went to work, and I carried on working, and I went on the road, and I did events all over the country. And I looked at everybody and said, everything's cool. I'm not going anywhere. I'm really happy. And it was about steadying that ship at that point, not really for me, because I was cool. It was for everybody else. And the analogy I always use, that if you're on a plane and the pilot starts to panic, then you'll panic, or the air hostesses start to panic. Everybody looks at what are the people who are in charge doing. And actually what I was doing events, I was recruiting, I was building, I was talking about, and the lessons from that time is very much things like, some don't stay. And I used to listen to Jim Rohn, and I thought he meant, the people at the beginning. Some don't stay. And actually, as you go through your business, that starts to mean something different. Some don't stay can be anybody. Anybody has the right to make their own decisions about what they want to do for their life. And I totally, totally respect that. And it's okay. And you just carry on, because you decide every day what you're going to do. And the other things I really learned was just to totally stay out of drama. Just stay out of any drama, any negative, particularly at the moment through social media and things. We see it with elections, we see it with all sorts of things. People are very quick to put stuff on social media, and I just think, just stay out of it. Don't respond to it and don't get involved in it, because things pass and real life goes back to normal. And, leadership's a journey, and I'm just a distributor, just like everybody else. At the end of the day, I'm just at a different point in my journey to some other people, and there are people further down the road from me who we always need to, learn from. So that was a really, really challenging time for the whole team. But we came out of it the other side. We've gone through it again more recently, and this time it was like, okay, no worries. We know exactly what we're doing. Everything's good. And again, it's business as usual, because people follow certainty, and I am really certain about who I am, what we're about, the mission that we're on, and all of that. And I'll never waver from that. And if people can see that you're certain, whoever they are, everyone's entitled to make their own decisions, and I do respect that 100%. But this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'll always be doing, and I'm comfortable doing that. But I'm not going to say it wasn't a massive challenge. It incredibly was at the time.
Hey, great words of wisdom from Emma Sneddon. People follow certainty. Right? They follow your conviction. People follow certainty. Write that down. People follow certainty. Hey, Emma, you've been great. Some really, so we can wrap up the show, some really quick questions to pick your brain.
Okay.
The first one is, what is one of your favorite success quotes that motivates you?
So I don't actually know who said this, but it used to be written above my dad's desk in his office in our house. And my dad had a massive heart attack when I was 16 years old and died really suddenly. And he was a huge influence in my life up to that point. And I fundamentally believe, actually, that even though I say everything happens for a reason, that the output of him passing away so quickly and so suddenly when I was so young has had a huge impact on who I am and why I am so flipping certain about things and about why life is so important. So he had a huge impact, but he had this sign above his desk, and it said, You worry a lot less about what other people think of you if you realise how seldom they do. So you worry a lot less about what other people think of you if you realise how seldom they do. I don't know why he had that above his desk. I don't know what he needed that there for. But for me, that's so true. Everybody's so worried about themselves. They're not really worried about me and you and what we're up to, right? We're all worried about our own life and our own bills and our own stuff. So don't worry about what other people think. You do what you need to do. Do what you're proud of, and don't worry what the outside world thinks about it.
What is one habit that's helped you become successful?
Massive work ethic. I'm either all in or all out. So like 110%. And I said that to John at the beginning. I remember about a month in, probably after that initial meeting where the girl was earning £2,500. And I remember saying to him, if I'm going to do this, I'm doing it 110% or I'm not doing it at all. No half measures. Make a decision, jump in or jump out, but make a decision and absolutely stick to it. And then work. Like I'll work, you can work hard, but I'm going to work harder. So always, just massive work ethic.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Oh, there's so many. Honestly, given everything that my business has gone through in the last 4.5 years, the best piece of advice I got given was from Alex Webb, who is John's upline. And he always used to say to me, he's a man of few words, but they're always wise. And he used to say, go wide and go deep and dig for gold. And I remember at the beginning, I didn't really know what he was on about, but as my business has progressed, going wide, so building width in your business and then building depth in your business, that's security. So when things happen and you have bumps in the road, it doesn't have such a big impact on your business. It's just a bump because you've got that. It's like building a house, isn't it? You need to have width and depth, otherwise you don't have a structure. So that was really, really important. And digging for goals, like work with people whatever level they are in your business. Everybody matters. Whether they put one order through or 100 orders through a month, everybody matters and everybody counts.
Hey, here's a quick question. I wasn't planning to do this, but I'll take a question from Facebook Live from Donna Marie Singleton. And she says, ask Emma how she keeps the fun in her team and work. How do you make things fun?
I'm a massive believer. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And it's a kind of a watch out for everybody. Like that's what keeps me grounded. And staying grounded is really important, but we have so much fun. And people used to ask me what my secret was, and I was like, that's it. Have loads of fun. People have rubbish lives, rubbish jobs, stressful things going on. If you can offer somebody something that's fun, that's simple, that's straightforward, that might even pay them some money, people just want to do it with you because you're having fun. We have fun we do all sorts of stuff. We're going to Marbella in a couple of weeks for like 400 of us on a retreat. But it doesn't have to be that. It's Zoom calls, it's hanging out with people, making people feel like they're part of something that's bigger than themselves. That's what happened to me, and that's what I try and offer other people. But that's a watch out for you. If you're not having fun with it, change it a little bit and have some fun.
What's your favorite prospecting tool? So say you have a qualified prospect. Do you send them a link to an online video? Do you do a Zoom call with them? Do you meet them and use a flip chart or PowerPoint? What do you like to use?
So honestly, Simon, I think a number of different things, because one of the things I'm really passionate about is treating each person individually. So I don't have a one-size-fits-all solution. I try and find out as much as I can in 2 or 3 questions about somebody, and then I'll send them what I believe to be the right tool for them. Does that make sense? Because I want people to feel like they matter right from the get-go, right from the first conversation, right from that what is it you do question that you get asked. I want to try quickly so for the ones I love the most, I have a YouTube channel and I have a number of different videos on there. Some are short, some are a little bit longer, some are aimed at like women, some are aimed at more men, that kind of thing. So I'll find the right one of maybe 4 or 5 videos, but videos tend to be my my instant tool that I send to watch this 3-minute video and then I pick up the phone offline as fast as possible. Let's have a FaceTime. I love FaceTime. Facebook Live is great as well because you can do it individually, and Zoom. But as soon as you can connect with someone, stop being 2D and start being like 3 and 4D, then people can look you straight in the eye and hear you. You know, people hear the music in our voices, don't they? People hear, people don't even know what we do. Just want to do it with us. I don't even know what it is, Emma, but you're excited, so I'm excited. And that's what you've got to do. Just pick up the phone to somebody or meet them. Or I'm busy, right? Really busy. Honestly, if you can pick up the phone to somebody and have a 10-minute conversation, do that first before you go and meet somebody. Maybe if you're working 100 hours a week, you cannot go and spend half an hour or an hour meeting 3 or 4 people a week. It just doesn't work. So get your serious prospects and then spend physical time with those people. But yeah, videos I absolutely love, because I think you can on your phone, people can see you wherever they are, car, toilet, work, whatever.
Do you have a favorite online resource like a Dropbox or Evernote, or favorite app on your phone that you could recommend?
Oh, my favorite online resource is YouTube. I think it's a mobile university. I think you can learn anything. You can learn how to do anything through YouTube. Like I couldn't open my garage door the other day, and I YouTubed how to open my garage door. I YouTubed how to do side-by-side Facebook Live when no one else was doing it, because I thought it must be possible because I could see it on your channel. So things like that, I love YouTube. I also, as I said, have a YouTube channel that I use for everything. My favourite app, do you know, probably is an app called Cozy, which is a family diary, which my husband has been trying to get me to use properly for months. But you know what it's like? You've got kids. When you've got kids, he's busy, I'm busy. He's in the business as well now, as well as doing his own personal training online. So he's busy. We're all over the place. That one thing that makes us be able to manage our diary and our time and the picking up and dropping off, that's really helped my business, because I'm able to see where I need to be and when. And Canva's amazing.
Definitely. Hey, what's one book you could recommend to MLM Nation?
My absolute favourite still is Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. It's a bit of a read. I think you read it in chunks. But for me, when I joined the business, that was something that opened my eyes to the importance of thinking differently about money and thinking differently about business.
And here's the last question. You know it's coming, Emma. The $1 million question. So imagine you had to start all over again, and you knew no one. You didn't even know your kids. You didn't know your husband. You're like an alien that went to another planet. Your contact list was zero. You had no Facebook friends, nobody. But you had all your current knowledge, skills, and wisdom. What's the first thing you do, or the first place you go to build an MLM business from scratch?
Step one, I'd find a product that I love. I think that for me, that's incredibly important, that you love the product that you're sharing with other people, because that way you can do it honestly and with integrity. So that's number one. I'd find a product that I loved and was happy to share and proud to share. Step two, I would get to 5,000 friends on Facebook as fast as possible. It's easy to do that now. Even in the last 4 years, that's got easier. You know, what are you into? This is what I say to people. So I would think, this alien that I am, what am I into? What are my passions? What am I excited about? What kind of person do I want to hang out with? Because you know what, Simon, when you're good at this business, or when you build, you don't have to be good at it, but when you build it, when you bring somebody into the organisation with you, hopefully that relationship between you and that person is going to be there forever. So you have to be someone that you kind of like, ideally, so that you can bounce off each other and you can spend time together. So I would work out who I am, and I then work out where do people who are like me hang out. So go on to Facebook groups, go on to... I love Facebook. That's actually my social media of choice. I understand it more than any of the other ones. So I use the search bar, and I would look for other mums. If I'm still a mum, I don't know who I am as an alien, but I would go and look for people who are like me, and where do they hang out? What kind of person? Where do I shop? Where do I work? What kind of person am I? What kind of things? What are my passions? What am I excited about? And go and find people who are like you, because we all want to hang out with people that are like us, and you can build a network. It's so important. We are a network marketing industry. People spend so much time focusing on the marketing, they forget about the networking. Be a friend first, and then build a business second. Be a friend to people. Go and find out what people need. Find out what people's desires, hopes, and dreams are, and then wrap your product or wrap your business around them, because at the end of the day, this is about them. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the person that you're talking to in that moment. So I'm going to go and find people who are looking for something. Find people who are, looking for something new, looking for something to change in their life. However big or small that change is, that's their decision, right? We don't decide what level somebody plays. That they decide. And I always then meet people where they are. You don't drag people to where you're going. You meet people where they are, and they come at their own pace. So finding people who identify with you or with me as an alien, that's where I truly believe that's what makes this business work at its best, when it's at its most symphonic orchestra style, is when you're surrounded by people who are all on the same journey together.
Awesome. Hey, you've been amazing. As we wrap up, any last words? Really good stuff. As we wrap up, any last words of advice? And then what's the best way listeners can connect and reach out to you?
My last words of advice would be, one is if you're looking at this opportunity or looking at the industry, I honestly, fundamentally believe you've got nothing to lose. I found a home here, and I know that so many other people find a home in this industry as well. You won't come to any harm. You know, you can build a legacy for yourself. You can start to dream again and live again. And what if this could be something for you? What if this could be life-changing for you? Don't let other people steal your dreams. Don't let other people talk you out of something that you actually want to do, because you're an adult. And you can make up your own mind about what's important for you. And then plant your feet and put your shoulders back and just go for it. If you're in this business already or in the industry already, same goes, right? You joined for a reason, stick it out. You can only fail in this industry if you quit, because it's designed for us to succeed. It's designed for totally normal people like you and me to achieve something totally extraordinary. It's designed for you to take some stress out of your life. It's designed for you and I to have success. So anybody can do what we do. I swear, if I can do it, you can do it too, without a shadow of a doubt. If you do want to connect with me outside of this, you can find me on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook. It's just Emma Sneddon. That's it. I've got a website, which is emmasneddon.com. You can contact me through there very easily. So go onto there and have a look, emmasneddon.com, easy to remember. And I also have an email address, which is just hello@emmasneddon.com. So really easy. I'd love to connect with you guys.
Hey, ML Nation, you know, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And today, you've been hanging out with Emma Sneddon. So keep up the momentum and go to mlnation.net and type in Emma, E-M-M-A, at the search bar, and the show notes and nuggets of wisdom and Emma's contact info will be right there. In order to be successful in life and in network marketing, you must help others. So, Emma, thanks again for sharing your valuable time with ML Nation. We're grateful to you, and we appreciate you for having a positive impact on millions of distributors worldwide. Thank you so much again, and God bless you.
Thank you, Simon.
Hey, Emma, that was amazing. Hang in there. Let me just wrap up this Facebook Live feed, then I'll talk to you personally in a second. Hey, for those on Facebook Live, amazing show from Emma Sneddon. I tagged her on there. Definitely connect with her. Amazing leader. And remember, you got to be with certainty, right? I'm going to end with you right here. Number 1, share this episode, because it's just lots of nuggets about, self-esteem, time management out there. Share this. And before you go, type it in there one more time, because Emma said so. I am good enough. Type in I am good enough. Hey, this is Simon Chan from Los Angeles, Emma Sneddon from the UK. We're loud and proud to be in this amazing profession. I am good enough. Go out there and have a positive impact on someone's life today. God bless you all.